If you were looking for instructions on how to install the bottled ink for the specific Epson printer that is here on the screen, then stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this video. I'm happy to announce that Best Printers is now selling compatible ink for your printer. There's going to be a link for it down in the description below. But this is the same exact dye-based ink as the Epson ink bottles. You're going to get the same high quality prints with this ink. The biggest difference is this ink is going to be a lot less expensive, especially if you subscribe on Amazon to get recurring ink orders. Now, the instructions that you're about to see in this video are very similar. I'm going to be installing Epson ink bottles, but installing these ink bottles is the same, if not easier. Why don't we get started with the ink installation now? Today I'm going to be installing the ink on the Epson EcoTank 15,000 model. If this video ends up being helpful, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. So the first thing you need to do is open the top of the printer. You're going to prop it up, and next you're going to open up the ink reservoir area, and that's going to allow you to have access to these tabs that you're going to lift up, and that is where you're going to start out with any color you'd like, but I start out with black ink initially. And as you can see, there's a pattern on the bottle. All you're going to do is take your bottle and you're going to flip it upside down. Don't worry about any ink spillage. And you're going to lay it down in there. Now, if it doesn't fit initially, you're going to have to turn it clockwise until, 180 degrees until it fits in place. If it's not flowing with the ink, if ink is not flowing into the ink tank reservoirs, then what you're going to need to do is just lift it up and push it back in. Lift it up, push it back in until the ink starts flowing. You don't want to shake, you don't want to squeeze, you don't want to be rough with this ink bottle or any of the ink bottles. You want to be just gentle, moving up and down, maybe tapping a little bit, but don't be too rough with these bottles. Next is cyan. As you can see, another pattern. We're going to flip this one right upside down, and the ink is going to flow down into the ink tanks. Now, with these bottles, what I have found is that I actually have a little bit of ink left over after I've fully filled the ink tanks. So keep the ink if there's a little bit, because if you're just setting up for the first time, then you're probably going to, through the setup process, lose some ink. And if you're using it, just wait until you've used some of the ink and then, top it off. I really hope this video sheds some light on what it is you actually need to do with bottled ink. When you're switching from ink cartridges, it's a little bit of a different process. I prefer this method 100%. You're going to save so much money. You're going to be able to print more. And there's just so much waste that is saved. Those ink cartridges, they really add up. For each set of bottled ink on these printers, and specifically on this model, equals out to 80 cartridges. So a lot of waste being saved. Now, if for some reason you're still having trouble installing these ink bottles into the ink tanks, just leave a comment below. What is the issue you're having? Another really important tip that I can give you is to make sure you're putting the right ink bottle into the right ink compartment. Match up the colors. Just pay attention, because I have had people tell me that they put the wrong color into the wrong ink tank, and that's really just not good, because it's a very difficult problem to have to solve. Now, in this video, I'm installing ink on a printer that I'm just setting up for the first time. But when you're running your printer, once it's at about 50%, you can start filling the ink tanks to get it back up to 100% and top it off. You don't want it to really run lower than that, because there's a lot of problems that can come up because of running low ink. I have seen it, and it affects print quality, and it just causes a lot of other problems. So if you would just top off your ink once you're at 50%, maybe you need to start making a purchase, maybe start buying with that link that's in the description below. Save this video, you can use that link anytime, and purchase some remanufactured ink that is compatible with this printer. All right, I hope this video ended up being helpful. If it was, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.